what was it Ed Gein made? Was it like
Belt with nipples.
he made like the ends of
Yeah,
drawstrings
can be.
for his blinds using lips. Or was it nipples? I think he made a belt out of nipples.
No, he made the sofa out of skin.
Yeah, he did that as well.
Lampshade.
Yeah, I know.
Lampshade out of faces.
And a bin out of people. Bowls
Gloves.
of human skulls.
Gloves made out of other
Corset.
people's hand skin.
Wow.
Corset
quite
made
clever,
of
though,
a
isn't it,
woman's
to be fair?
torso. What?
Fairly clever.
Oh,
He
yeah.
made something out of vulvas.
I think that might have been the blind drawstrings, you know? Like the end of the drawstrings.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure he made
What's this guy's
like a
name?
shirt out of ladies
Gein.
and stuff. as well.
Ed Gein.
Ed
Ed
Gein.
Gein, that's
He's
him.
the inspiration for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
Although there was no massacre, it was just two.
I mean, he's only technically a serial
And
killer,
they were
but
on the
he's my
same
favourite.
day.
He
Most
spent
of, the,
most of his time digging up bodies.
most of the stuff in his house, he didn't even kill himself. That was all
Yeah.
already
Lazy
done.
fuck.
He's not like Jeffrey
Well,
Dahmer.
you can't call him lazy. He's fairly industrious.
Can you
if
imagine
nothing else.
digging up a grave? That takes a lot of work. That's hardly
And then
lazy.
making a bin
Busting
out of
open
people.
a coffin,
It's a lot of effort.
It is a
Yeah.
lot of effort.
threading your Singer sewing machine, and then a belt of nipples and an apron of faces. And I imagine it's quite time consuming.
Far from lazy.
That shut me up.
It's no Jeffrey Dahmer. One.
No, he was a good one.
It was a good one.
He's one of my
He
favourites.
was a good one.
Yeah, he's one of my favourites as well.
But mental because he couldn't cope with being gay. So
Okay.
he murdered everyone.
Right. Hello and welcome back to the Breakdown Culture Podcast. My name is Rob Smith. I am here with Leask,
No,
Fisher,
Hello.
and not Danny this time because he's luckily been able to get to the Employed to Serve gig somewhere, Norwich. Yeah. Instead, we have Carl Cook here.
Cool. Hello.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Yeah, we're going to go news again today. Obviously, we're going to talk about Chester Bennington's death.
it's
Obviously.
important and also really the only thing that's happened in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and a couple other little bits, but nothing. Let's mess with that. New listens. We're going to listen to a lot. New Gideon album, the 9 Inch Nails EP, Shattered Suns album. Unfortunately, the pump goes pop in this moment, and a couple of other bits as well.
We've got some singles.
Yeah, got a couple of singles.
Shikari, Trivium, and August Burns Red.
Yeah.
That's single track releases.
In the wake of Chester's death as well, we are going to talk about, which we've been wanting to talk about for quite a while, is mental health awareness and its presence in metal and in our culture, which is important. So we're going to do that. The game, we are going to do some rap metal.
Not us personally.
Well, no.
That'd be
No.
awful.
We could try.
I don't know. I'd quite like to hear it. At least lay down some smooth beats.
Rob Smith's going to go
Spitting bars.
freestyle.
Spitting.
Yeah, rap mail was
Who's getting a
surprisingly
phone
good.
call?
Come on.
Look,
No.
Spanish isn't here, and now everything's gone to shit.
You're the long-haired Stormzy.
Yeah, an All Killer. Lisa All Killer last week was Crack the Sky,
Mm-hmm.
and we got a new one from Fisher. this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. Looking forward to sharing that one with you.
Awesome.
That'd be good.
Right then, shall we get the little ones out of the way?
Go on then.
Little bits of news. 36 Crazy Fists have a new album coming out on the 9th of September, 29th of September.
Called Lanterns, I
Called
believe.
Lanterns,
Ah.
yes.
They got a single.
Oh.
Wasn't that what you
they
showed
have.
me
Yeah.
the other day?
I meant to ask earlier if anyone else had heard it.
Ah,
No,
right.
not yet.
Well, I guess
it's good. I
Not
can
a
throw
big
that
fan.
out there.
musically really good. I always felt his vocal style didn't
Yeah.
fit. That was what I was getting from it. It's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
It's really heavy. So hopefully the album's going to be really, really heavy.
Awesome.
That'd be nice.
Again, it'll just be his vocals that are a bit odd,
Yeah.
as usual.
Yeah, Trivium's got a new album coming out, which we'll get onto in the new lessons as well. Devil You Know have had a rebrand. At least you said there was something about some legal issue with it.
Yeah, they're renaming themselves.
Like the Torch.
That's it. They've had a legal dispute with their drummer, I believe. It's been going on for a little while. So they have now renamed themselves. I can only assume it's because they for whatever reason can't continue performing under the name of.
I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they've
Did the
got.
drummer Misfits and
Quite possibly.
Did he what?
Misfits and
What
Glenn Danzig
Oh,
had all the rights to the Misfits name, didn't he? So
yeah,
Yeah, so they couldn't continue to perform under the name.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe like
probably
a Soulfly Sepultura sort of.
more than
So-
likely. So they've renamed themselves, and they've said their next album is going to be completely different from the last two they've written. So yeah, just a total rebrand, I guess.
Well, there you go. Same people.
I'm not a
on the
fan of
drummer,
that
I guess.
band name though. Like the Torch.
Fairly generic.
Yeah, pretty sure.
We'll see. I mean, I don't like Howard Jones, the vocalist, anyway, but I'll give the album a listen when it comes out.
Yeah, well, that's about it. Corey Taylor has brought his kid on stage to do. Well, I don't know. I didn't really actually
It was
read any
song
of this
number
news
3.
because I am not a fan of bringing the artist kids on stage.
I
you're
wouldn't
not.
be.
You made this quite clear in the past.
I wouldn't be usually. This, I think the likeness was really uncanny.
Yeah.
That's why I sort of chucked it in with the news, because usually it would just be like a bit of a failure.
Yeah.
Usually, but no, it worked.
He actually did really
He can
well.
actually sing really well. Just mimics Corey Taylor. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not as impressive as when Korn had what's his name's son playing
Well,
bass for him.
tribute.
Yeah, you know
Basis,
that was genuinely very impressive. I mean, he's just brought his kid out for one song, but you know he does well. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be shitting myself.
is it so he can now write a slam review on Metal Hammer about his own son?
I hope so. I really hope so. It'd be brilliant. Plaster him all over the cover.
Yeah. Just slag him off.
No, it worked. It did work like quite well. I was
Oh,
quite-
okay.
I was
Maybe
quite
I'll look at
surprised.
it then.
Like he just mimics his dad completely.
Ah.
You're like, you can definitely tell. They look alike. They're acting alike. This, they do the same actions. Everything on stage. It is literally mini me up there.
Mini. What does Mini Corey Taylor think?
Fuck.
Double the article power.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for the little bits of news. Alright, so we're going to talk about Chester Bennington.
A bit
today.
serious now.
Obviously, this was quite a shock to most of us because I'm pretty sure in saying this that he influenced a lot of where we are today in liking music and liking what music we like. So it was quite a big one, I feel.
It was very sudden as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was no secret he had been struggling with depression. But I remember getting the message from you saying that.
Yeah, because I saw it.
saying
I
that
saw it
he
on
had
Twitter.
died, and I obviously straight on Google. There was nothing on there.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes later, had another look, and it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Yeah, because
shit.
I saw it on Twitter and then immediately I messaged you and said, like, look at this, like, is this real? And then within 5 minutes, it's absolutely everywhere.
It's just so unexpected.
So
Yeah, I kind of echo what you're saying about the influence thing. Obviously, Linkin Park weren't so relevant the last 5 to 6 years.
yeah,
Probably last good album I'd say would be Minutes to Midnight, but in terms of what they've done for alternative music, even just being a gateway into it for a lot of teenagers, he was a huge influence, and it's pretty sad when something like that happens.
it's got. I'd say more so for me, well, because the relevance of Linkin Park and where they were when I was growing up in that, more than Chris Cornell. Wasn't it Chris Cornell's birthday?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, read into that what you want. I mean, they were good friends.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, if Chess was struggling with stuff, and Chris Cornell was a good friend of his because he was at his funeral and that, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's got to go towards suicide in some manner, but
Yeah. It's weird though, the interview with Chester about Chris Cornell's death. Like, he was like, oh, I wish he would have reached out to me and said all the things that people are now saying about Chester. So it's like,
maybe it was
why couldn't he take his
suffering
own
silence,
advice?
sort of.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not a sane beast, and you don't
Yeah.
know yourself when you're
Sure.
going to do it. It can happen a moment, just one thought could enter your head and you do it.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not a sane beast, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like so, we're gonna go into mental health awareness in our topic. So I feel it's about time we spoke about that. And with the state of like mental health,
Services.
services in this country right now, it's maybe a bit of a wake up call.
Tories pledged £1 billion
Yeah.
to
Really?
mental health services when they first got in, and have now cut nearly
Yeah, I
all the
did-
mental health.
I did
Wow.
see on the news
Well, they were going to close the Thermal here, weren't they? And
Yeah.
that was
They
only
have.
saved by a charity. Is it closed
it's
now?
closed now. Yeah. Yeah, it's closed. We'll get onto that. We'll get onto that in a bit.
So we weren't laughing there about the thermal being closed. Carl's
I'm a
Tapping
tapper
the
when I
table.
saw it.
tapper. just
to clarify that, we're not sitting here going, cut the mental health services.
And for people who don't know and don't live in Kingsland, the Thermal has a mental health wing.
Yeah.
There you go. Where was we?
Like a
Anyway, yeah, but
section.
back on track. It was a big one. I mean, I've never been a huge Linkin Park fan. I don't own any of their albums. I've never actually sat and listened to one of their albums all the way through. Like, I've heard
But I bet you know every single word to Crawling.
probably.
I bet you know every single song of Hybrid
I was going
Theory.
to say,
Yeah.
I've like Hybrid Theory, Meteor. I've heard those albums in their entirety, not necessarily through in one listen, but I've heard all the tracks individually. So even as someone who isn't a fan, I can't deny like the massive influence that band and he had on.
a whole generation, really.
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and
It shaped the whole new metal movement, essentially.
yeah,
Hybrid Theory and Meteor were seminal albums, really.
Yeah.
they were.
And like it or not, the direction they took, no one can take that away.
No,
No.
completely agree.
It does, I suppose, put it into a grander context. Now he's taken his own life, about the personal attacks on him in the last few months of his life. Yeah. What was it? Battle Symphony, the album?
Yeah.
What was it
Yeah, I
called?
think
But
that's
anyway,
right.
their latest album, the amount of criticism it got probably was deserved. It wasn't a good album. The personal attacks on him on the internet and the trolls and all of that stuff, it just makes me feel quite bad for him that his last few months spent on Earth were spent defending himself as a person.
Yeah.
And now he's sort of committed suicide. I think it's like, well, in the grand scheme of things, it's just bad music at the end of the day. It shouldn't have gone as far as it did.
I mean, a lot of musicians have spoken out about some of the comments and stuff they've seen about him after his death, and said how disgusted they are. At what
Yeah, I
they
mean,
see.
even on the day of his death, people were making vile comments about him.
And someone hacked his wife's Twitter account as well, and started posting on there saying that she was glad that he was dead and stuff like that. It's just
It's insane, man.
Social media is an awful tool, especially
Can be,
for,
yeah.
It's obviously it's got perks and it's really, really good, but it can be horrendous. Like
Yeah, the
some of the people on the internet,
yeah.
like
The anonymity factor is
yeah,
a thing,
like
right? You can hide behind a certain
it's not as
mask.
serious as this, but Josh McDermott, who plays Eugene in The Walking Dead, had to quit and delete all of his social media accounts because he's getting death threats 100 times a day from people, and that's over playing a character in a TV show.
Yeah, man. Joffrey, I imagine as well.
He quit acting
yeah.
Really?
forever.
But it's a sign of a good actor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if your character's that believable.
But like you said,
That's
like,
fucked, man. People are just overreactive and kind of stupid.
some people are just disgusting. you know,
With
and-
something like an album, yes, we've agreed it wasn't very good, but you've essentially put your heart on paper, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
And put it
Yeah.
out there for people to listen to, and then people have told you they want to kill you
Yeah.
over this.
And if the
Your
album wasn't
spirit.
cry for help, then you got all these people going, it's shit, what are you doing?
Couldn't have helped.
How are you going to react to that? And he's
Couldn't-
going to probably react like he did.
Couldn't have helped his frame of mind.
Yeah,
No.
and then his reactions to the fan scream of trouble.
Yeah, that irrational anger that you were talking about before. Yeah.
Then on top of that, you've got it compounded by the fact Chris Cornell also killed himself, and that, I think it must have just broken him.
He was
To
it
be
weeks
honest.
before he did that interview with the radio station
Oh,
where he's
sorry.
talking about his mental health.
Yeah. Saying it's a very
He's fine as long as he's outside himself and
Yeah.
doing stuff, but as soon as he stops,
he's on his own and can think. He
Yeah.
said his mind's essentially a ghetto, and it's a very, very unhappy place to be.
I mean, he's struggled with his own issues. He's never really made much of a secret about what he's been through.
Yeah, well, like Linkin Park's statement was, it said it's the way he sung about those demons which made Linkin Park then, basically.
he never hid the fact he had problems with substance abuse or alcohol.
Yeah,
Or,
but the fact he was very open and honest, he managed to sell millions of records by putting his heart on his sleeve and being completely open about it. I think people, probably that teenage angst, you could relate almost, or a lot of people in their generation could sort of relate to that message.
this is really hard not to just go straight into full-blown topic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It really is, yeah, because it would follow on.
Yeah, because it really does relate.
But we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
We'll move it around.
So yeah, unfortunate news. All right, new listeners then. Let's talk about Gideon.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Gideon. We all listened to it. Well, we
Yeah,
listened to
I
it.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Their album came out in April, I think, but I didn't hear anything about them until quite recently. I saw, I think it was Bees post about them on Twitter.
Okay, so this isn't a new album. This is basically a new discovery for
Yeah.
for all of us. It's not a new release like
Yeah.
this week
No.
or anything.
We haven't listened to it before,
No, we've never heard that.
so it's new to us.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we all think?
Personally, if I'm gonna listen to something along those lines, I think the Ghost Inside do it better.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting.
This is what. You carry on.
It reminded me a lot straight away of the Ghost Inside, and I thought if I'm in the mood for that kind of music, like that type of hardcore, I'm going to pick the Ghost Inside over Gideon. But that doesn't mean I'm going to take anything away from what Gideon have done. Like, it's still really good.
Yeah.
Still really impressive. Loved the track Freedom with Jamie Jaster.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe in the gym, like, I'm going to stick them on, but my preference is that I'm going to lean towards just putting the Ghost Inside on over them. I feel like that niche has sort of been covered by the Ghost Inside.
Yeah. The same as you, really. They are very similar to the Ghost Inside, and I think that's the only thing holding it back. I've said before, like with these post-hardcore bands, they have to have something really unique to stand above what's already there.
Yes.
Like you say, if I want to listen to something like that, I'm going to go straight to the Ghost Inside at the minute. Yeah. Because it's either they were first, or they've got that something a little bit more unique than everyone else.
Perhaps
But nothing against Gideon. This is a fucking awesome album.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I'd have maybe discovered Gideon first and the Ghost Inside came on later, I'd probably side with Gideon. Maybe it's just because they come along and I'm more familiar with them already. Yeah. But yeah, that don't want to take anything away from this album because it is good.
This album's called Cold. I gave it a 6 out of 10. A good 6 out of 10. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with that. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Ghost Inside, to be perfectly honest. They're a band that are just sort of there. They're not a band I would choose to put on. So I can't really draw that comparison between Gideon and the Ghost Inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Well, like when you first put it on the car, I said it was really awesome, didn't I?
Yeah.
But then I found I felt that for the first half of the album, and then the second half it kind of just sounded like more or less like everything that's already out there, and I kind of lost interest about halfway through. Not the other half wasn't good; it's just that it wasn't anything new.
Yeah,
very samey.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I think 6 is fair.
Yeah, overall good. Definitely good in the gym.
Definitely
6 Bs.
for anyone out there, check out Freedom if you don't listen to any of it, anything else on that album. Freedom is a fucking awesome song. I think that's a fair analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I've listened to it like, excessively. I've only listened to it a couple of times.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. All right.
Now we got Gideon.
Yeah.
Good 6.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to Nine Inch Nails EP. Oh, that's not me.
not me.
Mine doesn't.
I get no signal in here anyway. I
It might be me, I don't know. Nine Inch Nails, their EP called Add Violence. I've always found with Nine Inch Nails, there's something really like weird, like soothing and hypnotic about his voice.
He's got an incredible voice.
Yeah, and that's probably why I like him as much as I do, just because of his voice. To be honest, most of the EP is just static. It's just noise.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah.
He's gone very much back to before the Downward Spiral, where it's kind of experimental and it's also almost done to make you feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
the songs are supposed to be uncomfortable, like the discord between his beautiful vocals and all this static noise.
Oh,
and
right. Okay.
Yeah, which I totally get that.
I actually
Right.
didn't dislike this EP.
I really like it because it's almost classic Nine Inch Nails with a bit of with teeth
Mm.
Yeah.
singing style.
Yeah.
See, I was getting here. There was no substance to really get like sink my teeth into. Almost, it just seemed a bit hollow. Like it was
I get what you're saying. It's kind of like the difference between art house cinema and Hollywood cinema. Like,
right.
It's every note, every beat, every static in that is done for an artistic reason rather
Sure.
than just a sound flow.
I think that's
Right.
a
Get what I
really
mean?
good analogy, actually.
Yeah.
It's more
okay.
of an artistic, well, sort of like a sculpture rather than just not just a record, but you know what I mean,
Yeah.
just a song. So like the discord, the flow that doesn't quite work it's all done on purpose to set you off balance and make you a little
Okay.
uncomfortable.
I think with things like Nine Inch Nails, it's
Very unique.
Yeah,
like-
it's going to polarize people. It's something that you're either going to enjoy or you're not. I don't
Yeah.
think you can really have a middle ground with something like
I'd
that.
suggest listening to the Downward Spiral, which is one of their albums.
Okay.
And like the range and flow from that is you've got like March of the Pigs to Closer
I've heard March of the Pigs. Yeah. Ah, Closer. I
to
think
Closer
that's,
and then
yeah,
to
yeah.
Hurts.
Mm.
And
So
yeah.
like the range of songs and
Sure.
change of pace and everything, it's an incredible
I mean,
album.
how many tracks is on that EP?
What?
Five?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah. I think the main song was Less Than, I think it was called.
Mm.
That's good. I like that. I really like that. But then again, some of the other tracks is just a lot of noise.
I think it's
Actually, but-
something I'll listen to a few times and like get my head round it.
I mean, it is just an EP, so we might see one, maybe 2 tracks off that EP on an album.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Mm.
I really love the fact, even though he's getting older, he's not losing that grittiness out of his voice, and he's
Yeah.
still
He doesn't
there.
sound like he's aged.
No, he sounds like back in the Hertz days when he was like 19, 20.
Why is it just an EP and not a full album? Do we know? Is it just...
Well, he's officially retired, hasn't
Right.
he?
long
And-
time ago.
a
Oh, so
long
the
time
fact
ago.
you've got any new
Honestly.
9 Inch Nails is
And
like a bonus.
Nine Inch Nails isn't a band, is it, in the recording studio? Trent Reznor does everything himself. Nine Inch Nails on
Right.
tour as session musicians.
Right.
He actually
Oh, so
writes,
it's all
records every single instrument himself.
I didn't know that. Huh. There you go.
But yeah.
Bit of a lesson.
I was a big Nine Inch Nails fan. Like, that's why this EP makes sense to me, because I sort of grew up listening to
Yeah.
Downward Spiral, Further
Okay,
Downward
yeah.
Spiral.
If you're hearing it in context to everything else, I suppose it makes a lot more sense. I'm hearing this
For me, it's,
very, very isolated, so I'm hearing it just on
Yeah,
its own.
but then that's
so-
done to signify how he feels in society and stuff like that. That was done back in the old days because he felt isolated because of his drugs and drink
Okay.
and stuff. It's really good. It's sort of like the music echoes his personality.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
It's kind of a
So, yeah,
depth of music you don't get
It's
nowadays.
probably a
Complex,
lot
man.
more in depth than what we're listening to.
So you can't really take it at face value
No.
so much. Okay. Okay. I
No, like a song as beautiful as Hurts is actually about how he's struggled with drug addiction and alcoholism his whole life.
Yeah, they're I've always thought 9 Inch Nails are quite mysterious, kind of a bit out there
Yeah.
kind of band, but a band that probably wouldn't necessarily be out of place headlining Download.
Well, they did Sonosphere as retirement gig, didn't
Yeah.
they?
What headline?
Yeah.
Who were there?
See, they're huge, right?
Nine Inch Nails are
Oh,
absolutely
is there?
massive,
Yeah.
especially like
So
back
you were
in
there.
like the 90s, early 2000s. Like he went on tour with David Bowie and actually headlined above David Bowie.
Wow.
And he turned around and said this isn't right and just changed the set list, so he went on before David Bowie
Wow.
and changed it himself.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
But I broke my
Awesome.
ankle at a Nine Inch Nails gig.
What?
I was at the front, kind of jumping along like you do, twisted my ankle, and then some fat hairy guy beside me jumped on my ankle as it twisted, and I snapped it clean.
Sure you enjoyed the rest of that.
I stayed.
Probably
Nine Inch
kicked
Nails
him
in
back.
Brixton, don't leave.
Carl probably kicked him back with the same foot.
Beat him with my meat sock. And that's not a euphemism.
Oh man, did your foot
Okay. Next, listen.
Shattered Sun. I can't remember the name of the album. Someone tell me right now.
Oh, I don't remember the name of the
Oh,
album.
fuck's
Oh, no, 'cause I
sake.
was listening to the one before it earlier, and I can't remember which one's which.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're professional here. We really are.
Right. Anyway.
I felt very conflicted about this album.
When did this come out?
It's the Evolution of Anger.
Yeah, this only came out like within the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
I mean, they're not a new band. They've got a few albums out. I was very confused by this because it's the sort of thing I would normally just write off and be like, it is very generic. But there was something about it that I found hugely enjoyable. It is quite generic metalcore. I'm not gonna.
That's very generic.
You didn't even listen to the whole album all the way through.
You should have listened to the whole album. Because
No, did we not?
No,
play the
you
whole
made me
thing?
turn it off.
I did.
the
yeah.
first half is
Were you getting like Miss May kind of vibe?
it's you can take it or leave it. The second half is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Hollow Chains.
Yeah.
The second half.
That's as far as we got, and he made me turn it off.
Oh really?
But that's where it starts to pick up.
Yeah, that's
I
where it
think.
starts to get really a lot better.
Great. Well.
You have to go back and listen.
Yeah.
to
Well.
that.
No, I
I
was just.
think the choruses work really well. Like the melodies and stuff in there, they do remind me a lot of bands like In Flames and Soilwork.
I wasn't getting that.
Listen to the second half
Yeah.
of the album.
Okay. Okay. From what I heard, it just sounded just something like there's nothing new. There's nothing new there that I was hearing. Like nowadays, if it's metalcore, it's going to have to offer something different for
Yeah.
me to
Again,
a band
same-
like the Royal or something like
Yeah.
that have got something.
Again, like I was saying to
Pretty
Lise,
unique.
metalcore's evolved so much now. Like, especially with the British metalcore scene and the German metalcore scene, you
Yeah.
get such good bands coming
Yeah.
out now. It's hard to compete. And
Yeah,
it's all like a new style as well.
It's like an
not-
entirely different entity,
Like, it's-
whereas this was very. It's
It
the
felt
sort of thing
very-
you would have expected, like mid 2000s.
Yeah, if you listen
Yeah.
to the difference between like Our Hollow, Our Home and Kill Switch Engage, they're almost two different genres.
Yeah.
Sure.
now.
Yeah. But this, like you say, wouldn't have been out of place 15 years ago.
No,
Mm.
not at all.
Like, but not bad. Again, it wasn't bad. It's just that I've listened to metalcore to death now. I don't necessarily want to sit there and listen to something that I've been listening to for the last 15 years. I've
yeah.
got a whole host of bands I can go to for that kind of music.
I don't think it helped that I put it on straight after we'd been listening to Every Time I Die.
True.
Because you're just being punched in the face with every track, and then you go straight into something that like you
Don't
say,
get me wrong,
you've
this
listened to it
wasn't-
to death.
This wasn't bad, but it's just I felt like a carbon copy of stuff that.
That's fair. I mean, like I
It's
said,
been
I'm
done before.
surprised I enjoyed it because it's
Mm.
normally the sort of stuff that I'm like, yeah, I don't do this.
Yeah. I like, from the second half, it's really good. Again, I gave it a 6. Decent
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's worth a listen.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, by all means, go listen to it. This is just where I'm coming from. Having listened, like metalcore is my thing, so it's
It's
like
my baby.
That's my jam.
Yeah. Just wasn't original for me.
Yeah.
So
Alright, let's go on to... Right, I'll talk about In This Moment quickly. And
okay.
then we'll talk about really bad stuff. In This Moment's got a new album out called Ritual. I think I spoke about one of the tracks a little while ago, can't remember. Quite a while ago now. Now they've changed their sound a lot, especially from Blood and Black Widow, but again it's still it's a bit darker than both of them albums. At the start of it, it's got a huge build up with like all these big, like all these drums and stuff, and it's like massive build up, all this thunder and everything, and then it goes into a very anticlimactic song, like straight after, and it just cancels everything about that intro out. It's oh Lord, it goes into, and you pretty much don't need to listen to more than that, I don't think.
Wow.
Some of it's okay. Some people, like, I read in Metal Hammer that said their change is good. I disagree with that. Like the from Blood backwards is a better sound of their era for them, I feel.
I mean, Blood was great.
Blood was awesome.
In This Moment, female, is that the
Yeah,
female vocalist?
Maria Brink. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the right band here.
Yeah, from Blood back, like Blood came out at the same time as Sepultura, and that was awesome. That was
Okay.
wicked timing.
Yeah.
Very similar sort of style.
I need to hear them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of going through the album, you hear a lot of similarities to Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so imagine Katy Perry singing a Marilyn Manson or a Rob Zombie song,
Okay.
and that's about it. That's all you got.
Okay.
And there's a horrifically unnecessary cover of "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins.
Really?
Yes.
I was always a really big fan of Punk Goes Pop. Like 1 to 5, absolutely awesome. But from about 6 onwards, they're not so good.
Hold on. We jumped the gun here. Are we? Hold on.
Yeah, well, I was talking about cover, but we can. That's about
sorry.
it for In This Moment.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Carl just
Isn't-
left and came back.
Isn't that the Phil Collins cover the song?
No, it's not. No, it's on.
That would be cool, but unfortunately,
It's
it's
on
just.
In This Moment.
Oh, yeah, we were listening to it in the car. I got confused. Sorry.
But anyway, yeah. Was it Punk Goes Pop?
Yeah,
That
we'll
was our
talk
next
about that.
one.
Yeah.
Now,
Hold on. Album rating for In This Moment?
5.
Yeah. Okay.
5 B's.
5 Bs.
5 beans.
B's.
Bs. Bs?
The breakdown country.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're going with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fine.
You obviously didn't get the memo.
5
No.
wasps.
So yeah, 5 for them. Go back to their old sound, I feel. There you go. Alright. Punk Goes Pop.
I forgot to listen to it, and
What
then when I
did you
did
say?
remember, I decided I would save myself the hassle and not
Probably best forgotten.
It is
bother.
terrible.
That bad.
Well, you know how much I love like all the metal covers and stuff, and it is terrible.
It is
There's what,
so
2
bad.
tracks on it with any screaming in?
There's 2
Yeah.
okay tracks.
Alright, what did you think they were?
Ice Nine Kills.
Yeah.
Their one was good.
What did they cover?
It's not even memorable to remember the pop
The
song they
thing
covered.
is about this album is that I spend 8 or 9 hours a day at work listening to Radio 1, unfortunately. Not my choice, it's just on in the warehouse. Seems to be the general consensus that people agree on in most workplaces in England, is that any warehouse or workshop
Radio
or
1.
It's Radio
building
1.
site or whatever, it seems to be Radio 1. So
Or Kiss if it's even worse.
yeah, Kiss if you're really unfortunate.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No, I wouldn't. You know, because at least Radio 1 there's a bit of talking and fun stuff that sometimes goes on, live lounge and things like that. But most of these songs on this album are on Radio 1 daily. Your
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran's, Can't Feel My Face,
Yeah.
Justin Bieber's Love Yourself, Heathens was
Yeah.
another one, the Bruno Mars one. All these ones. So
I don't know what most of these are.
for
Neither
you,
do I.
Lise, it would have just been like hearing a bunch of
shit songs. That wasn't even practiced. That was.
For me, it's hearing shit songs that I know covered in a shit high school.
But it should be made better, right?
Wait, but
Yeah.
punk goes pop would suggest that alright, they're taking these pop songs and injecting some life and punk sort of energy into it. But there's nothing to really differentiate the originals from the covers sometimes.
Yeah, like 1 to 5 is really good. Like the Ask Alexandria covers and stuff on there, where they actually do proper metal covers. They don't just rehash it.
Yeah.
So they're actually taking songs and doing it in their style. But
Yeah.
just
That's probably the most important thing about these punk goes pop ones. That they got bands and they did them in their own style. This seems like they are just doing basic, like sing-along tracks.
Yeah.
So,
Have Fearless Records always owned the right to Punk Goes Pop,
I'm
or
not
is
sure.
that a new
don't
thing?
know.
I'm not sure. That'd be interesting to look
Because
into
they're all-
actually.
I think they're all
Because
Fearless artists, aren't
it seems like a platform now to release Fearless artists,
Right.
rather than, because I know Ask Alexandria were on Sumerian Records, aren't they?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and they have been for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's,
So it could
I
be
don't
a
know whether
change.
they've now got the rights to this since 6.
It'd be worth
Possibly.
looking into actually.
Yeah. Oh, and hence the change.
Hence the change
Like
in
style.
complete style.
Yeah.
I mean, from what you guys have said so far, it just sounds absolutely soulless.
It's dog shit.
I-
It's bad.
It is bad.
It's like dual pain. I think it's a suffering from the fact they don't change anything, and the caliber of the pop song that is out today is
Yeah.
also awful.
Yeah.
So
So that combination makes,
there's
Fucking hell.
like I said, loads of shit songs being covered in a really shit way.
Yeah.
It just
yeah, and I'm a big fan of Punk Goes Pop. I always have been.
Yeah.
it like you say, it's just the standard of music that's in the charts at the moment isn't good.
Like we showed you earlier, that Ed Sheeran cover that's on it. If you want to listen to a cover of that song, listen to the Our Hollow Our Home one. Now
Which
that's
was
a,
actually a
now
really
that's
good
a
cover.
real good cover of that song.
It's like, it reminds me of bands that are in a talent show at school
Yeah,
Covering.
definitely.
covering pop songs. That's what you would expect from like a bunch of 15-year-olds
Fuck's sake.
covering it in a basic manner, and they've just transferred that onto a CD and gone, here you go, here's Punk Goes Pop,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Normally we
Doesn't-
talk about
doesn't
the
work.
good tracks on an album, but I'm going to talk about the worst track, which is by
When We-
Andy
Oh,
Black.
Andy
When we
Ballsack.
were young,
It is when we were young.
this is
and
this is what I got
an
written
Adele
down.
cover.
Yeah,
Just
it is awful.
What, are you going to read that out, or are you going to leave that off?
huh? I was waiting for him to read it.
Oh.
We haven't got all night.
It's there.
It's like watching
Shocking.
Sir Davos read.
Shocking.
Very bland.
It is terrible. That's a very...
Is that an Adele song? Was it?
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
Adele
Okay.
song.
Off topic, mention Andy Ballsack. What does everybody think about that Hail Satan or thing that Film Sumerian Records is bringing out?
Oh,
With Andy Ballsack and Ben Brucin and all the Sumerian Records metal people in a horror film.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Oh, is it a horror film, is it?
Yes. And Andy Ballsack's meant to be this high school student.
Oh.
Oh.
He'll look out his place of that as he does fronting his band.
Social media can be
I'm
a horrible
definitely in a
place.
high school.
Straight in for the kill. Oh man.
No.
Don't hold
But
back.
sorry, that was a side note.
I was just thinking. Right, actually, what would you rate this first before I?
Half a B.
I gave it 10
But-
earbloods. It made my ears bleed 10 times. A 2.
Yeah.
Oh
I,
shit.
I think it's 2.
I'd give it a half a B.
Half.
So
No,
an
someone on my Instagram was like, "Oh, this is a pretty poor album," but there's one song I quite enjoyed, and it was "Can't Feel My Face."
Okay, yeah. It might
So
be
I was
the end
thinking,
of it.
well, I'm getting through it, and this is like track number 6 or 7. It's like halfway through it. So I was like, well, it might be a little highlight to look forward to.
Hang on, you listened to all of this, but you couldn't listen to the Shattered Sun album.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were
How do
going
you
to be
explain
reviewing the
yourself?
Shattered Sun album.
There's a good thing though. There's a difference to be striven on to moan about something rather than if something's a bit meh, you can turn it off. But if you can be driven to moan about something,
Yeah.
there's a
Or
reason
stop
to listen.
listening.
Like Stargate.
Yeah.
I watched
not
all 10
mention Stargate.
seasons of that just so I could tell Rob Smith how much I hated every episode every day. I
bad
watched an
math
episode.
Stargate. Fuck you.
Well, anyway, it wasn't a highlight, and it was a complete
Waste of
anticlimax.
time.
Waste of
Well, a
time.
complete anticlimax. I thought, well, there might be one good song in amongst the 15 or whatever there are, but there just isn't.
I was just going to ask, right, since we're talking about a covers album, have you got the new issue of Metal Hammer?
Yes,
Have you listened to the album
Not
that came
yet.
with it? It's a 90s,
I did see.
it's a 90s rock and metal album covered
Okay.
by,
Various artists.
yeah, I mean, I think you've got Stone Sour on there, you've got 36 Crazy Fists.
Oh, Stone Sour have done a lot of covers. Didn't they have
Yeah,
another album?
I was just thinking, I was going to ask for what you thought of it, but if you've not listened
Yeah,
to
no, I
it,
haven't
I'll come
listened
back
to
to
it
it
yet.
next time.
It's probably going to be better than this.
Well, by the sounds of it, like our rap metal band that we're going to put together,
Yeah.
it's going to be better than this.
Yeah.
Draping my wet bollocks over an electric fence would have been better than listening to it.
Oh,
Well, let's-
good. Well, I'm
let's-
not going to waste my time with that then.
Let's just hope for a better one. Well, by then, hopefully, there's a better caliber of song in the charts as well.
Wouldn't count on it.
No.
Alright. August Burns Red.
Whee! Let's
August
go on
Burns
to something
Red
good.
brought out a new single called
Invisible Enemy.
Invisible Enemy.
Yes.
That is it. I'm just testing you guys, you know. I did have it written down, but
Okay.
I'm just
I
testing
can
you.
see your notes as well.
Stop copying my homework.
Yeah, awesome. Can't wait for the new album.
I thought it was alright.
I thought this was really typical August Burns Red. I think there's no one else out there who like them doing
No.
what they're doing. Very original concepts.
Guitar work's awesome.
Guitar was
Always been on
fucking
their albums.
phenomenal. Drums are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Breakdown is heavy as fuck.
Yeah, that song sounds better than everything they've done so far.
Better produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This song, it sort of keeps you. From what I got from it, it's like a constant build-up, almost.
Hmm.
And then when it finally drops in that epic breakdown, it's just
Video's cool too.
Yeah.
I could listen to it as background music.
Okay.
It's not something I like. Even when we listened to it earlier, it's not something I really paid too much attention to. Even while I was listening to
They're
it, it's just not the sort of thing I tend to listen to. I mean, I can't fault what they do. They're good at what they do. It's just
They are really good at what they do.
they can play like fuck.
They're a big talent. They
Yeah.
are good talent.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's not for me.
They're odd though. They're not your typical metalcore band, are they?
No.
They use odd time signatures.
There is something a bit different about them.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of tapping, a lot of lead guitar overlay on everything.
Yeah, that intro riff where he's tapping with his left hand on the fret, his right hand also, he's tapping each fret. So it's one of those riffs that looks really impressive, like visually as well.
Yeah.
They posted up a video of him playing it, and yeah, it just looks technical, really fucking intricate, really cool, which is what they're good at. Their speciality.
Yeah.
August Burns Red.
Yeah,
They're,
looking forward to this stuff.
Yeah. They're on tour in July.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they on tour now? Right now?
I'm
I'm pretty sure they're
sorry,
on-
July. No, we're in August now. Maybe it's been
Maybe. Yeah.
4
probably.
dates are sold out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, all 4 dates are sold out. So, yeah.
This is just such a mad year for tours. It really is.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a lot.
it just seems like I'm never going to be able to get all of the time off of work to go and see everything. I wanna see.
No, there's a lot.
I mean, especially with Bury Tomorrow having just announced a tour as well. It's
Yeah.
the Stage Invasion tour. It's just
That wasn't. We didn't see any of that on download, did we?
No, that's just come out of nowhere and it's going to be
A lot.
fucking insane.
Yeah, so 20 small venues, which is really cool.
I'm assuming we're going.
Well, yeah.
We go to both.
Yeah.
We go to Norwich and Peterborough.
Sure.
It's a Friday and Sunday.
Long
Anyway.
weekend.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alright then. Trivium. Trivium's new track is called
Is called the
Sin.
the Sin and
The
something.
Yeah,
The sin and the
sin and the something.
Yeah, we'll go with
Sounds
that.
like a track.
Yeah, no.
What is it, Rob?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't write that one?
No, I didn't write it down, bro.
Oh my god.
Of course I didn't write it down. What, you think we're professional?
You need to come back, Danny.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
look what happens when you leave.
It's on my YouTube history.
Brilliant. Yeah. The sin
Anyway.
and the sentence.
Hey!
The sin and the sentence.
Oh,
Struggling
oh,
to
Christ.
string one together right now.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
I'm going to be. I'm going.
I liked it. I've got a really hit and miss relationship with this band. After the Crusade, I lost interest entirely. I bought Shogun, listened to it, and I seem to remember enjoying it, but it just didn't really change my opinion. Same with everything afterwards. I've enjoyed it, but it's not set them back up to a point where I'm genuinely interested in
Sure.
what they're doing.
I think I liked their first and second album and didn't get on with anything else.
Into Inferno and
Yeah.
Ascendancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, if you
May I
pick any two
recommend
albums-
In Waves?
Right.
No, anyone that's followed this podcast from the beginning will know that I can just talk about Trivium for like 3 hours. I've seen them 11 times. I'm pretty well versed on this band. I love them, but they frustrate me as well. Like, I feel like when they're writing melodic stuff, they're not fulfilling their potential as being up there with one of the best heavy, like out and out heavy bands, because of their ability, or Matt Heafy's ability to just punish with his like, deep growl voice.
I think they do like melodic stuff really well, though.
They do it really well. I just prefer the In Waves heavier side of them. But this track gives you a bit of both.
I thought
It's
it
a
sounded
good
very
balance.
classic metal.
It goes classic, like what was the previous album called? Silence in the Snow.
Yeah.
It has a bit of that, like the operatic classic metal, the more like you said earlier, the Judas Priest side of them, which sort of underpins the whole song and keeps it going. But then these odd 30-second sections in there where it's really heavy Shogun-esque type riffing and screaming.
And then the last minute.
The last minute is very In Waves, very fucking heavy. So they've got a good blend. I feel like maybe now Trivium have perfected that like balance of everything they do. Because unfortunately for me, they're not just going to be a heavy band. They're going to be a melodic thrash metal band. And now it seems like they're trying to incorporate every element of themselves, and they've got to a point in their career where now they don't have to write an album that's just out and out heavy like In Waves, or an album that's out and out melodic.
I mean,
Like Silence in the
they've
Snow.
nailed their live stuff, their live show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when we saw them,
They're flawless.
yeah.
But it seems like with this song, yeah, it was just a good balance.
Yeah,
of,
it seems
of
like
everything.
they're writing songs for themselves.
Oh
and
yeah,
they're loving what they're doing, loving what they're writing. They're not trying to please anyone or a label.
I don't think they necessarily care about being huge. Again,
No.
like
I think that's what they went
Not
on with
like
the Crusade.
Crusade.
Because they came out just before that and said that they wanted to be the next Metallica.
Yeah.
And then really fucked themselves over.
yeah, by writing an album that sounded a bit like Metallica.
Yeah.
People confuse that statement with them saying, "Well, we want to essentially be Metallica."
Well, yeah, if you're going to be Metallica, you're going to have to release the Saint Anger, aren't you?
Well,
We'll have
what
one
was the
good
Crusade?
liver
I
between
think
entire
the
bands.
Crusade was Trivium to Saint Anger.
Well, exactly.
So
You know.
yeah, there you go. But no, this is good, and it gives me hope for a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be
Fuck,
interesting
they-
to see what they release next.
they can really play.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
great guitar work again. Yeah, so yeah, cool. I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
All right. So, Enter Shikari, we're going to talk about next.
Oh yeah.
And seeing as Danny's not here to defend Enter Shikari, or Don Bronco, because we binned them off as well.
We're sorry, Danny.
We're going to talk about Enter Shikari's track. Now, I heard, what, a minute?
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
all you need to hear, because that's
all I
the
need to hear
entire
apparently.
song.
Oh, okay.
It's
What's the song called? Got you again.
don't care.
Don't do this to me, man.
I didn't even bother looking what it was called because I just didn't care enough to look.
Danny's screaming at the fucking.
We're sorry again.
I'm not sorry. I thought it was dog shit. It was awful. I don't like Shikari as a band anyway. I've made my opinions on them quite clear previously.
You certainly have.
This is worse. This is worse than anything that I've heard previously.
Really?
It is just. There's nothing to it, right?
It's a pop song, essentially, right? Is that what you're saying?
When you
It
said
should have been on that covers album.
when you said this to me, like
It's not
I
that
like
bad.
Shikari, I like the electro metal scene. I love all that. It's probably my favourite. I thought I was going to defend it, but it's terrible. It seems like they've cashed in on this whole 80s vibe that's
Yeah.
going along, this
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
80s
yeah.
synth pop vibe, and I think it's a big step down from their usual political
In your
greatness,
face.
in your
like-
face rawness.
Yeah.
It's just not right for them.
Like songs like Destabilize and stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that.
got to remember like the wall and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Having heard that album that
Big
Danny had as his
tracks.
all
Yeah.
killer that time, even I can hear the difference in caliber
Yeah.
of what they're
Yeah,
writing.
They're usually
yeah.
proper aggressive
Yeah.
and in your face, and this is proper chilled out melodic. Like
I mean,
It-
this won't set the tone for the rest of the album, though. because
we hope.
Well, typically Shikari give you a bit of everything. I think the first song that was released from the Mind Suite was The Last Garrison, and that got me really excited for that album. But this didn't have the same effect at all.
No, it's had the complete opposite effect.
Yeah.
I hated every second that I spent listening to this song.
It's very repetitive. Like,
Wait.
we showed Rob the first minute and was like, well, you kind of don't need to.
But then
Yeah, much.
watching the video, is it done for a reason? Because it's all about manufactured
Reality.
reality. Is that
Mm.
done? Is it done as a political stance, maybe? And we're just being blind to it.
Take the video away. Would you want to listen
No.
to them play that live?
No.
No.
But now having seen the video, it adds a new
A different
dimension of maybe it's a comment on the manufactured state of music.
I just thought it was fucking awful.
But it, as a song, it doesn't stand out on its own.
No, which is unusual for Shikari. They usually do something that's really out there and
It's just missing that
progressive.
aggressive edge as well.
Yeah.
It's usually really in your face, and
Yeah.
this is just kind of not even in the passenger seat.
Right, yeah.
Flying the
It's
back
just
of the
phoned
bus.
in.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Just make it fuck off. What else?
I wonder what Danny has to say. Comment, Danny. Just comment.
Yeah, just comment on the video, like and subscribe.
If you get 25,000 likes, you'll listen to
Alright, yeah, so that was Enter Shikari. Shall we talk about our main topic then?
Come on, then this is going to be a hefty one.
Yeah,
I
should
think
be.
everyone needs another beer for this one.
I don't think we've got enough beer left.
So yeah, we're going to talk about mental health awareness and its presence in metal. Well, I say metal, I mean like the rock and metal culture.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because it seems like our culture kind of attracts like slightly damaged and broken individuals, say, which kind of also brings the fans and the bands closer together in a way. Yeah.
I think that's a fair
I
assessment.
I think it's because you got to think of when most people get into metal, it's usually around between 12 to 15. And that is like your angsty period, and you've got this angsty, angry music to subjugate your views to. And I think that's where it gets you, is it understands your anger, and
It's very relatable.
you
at
don't
that age.
at that age.
I completely agree with that. And I think as time has gone on, I mean, it's still a relatively young genre of music. As time has gone on, these kids that were getting into this music for those reasons, they're releasing their own music, which is then in turn attracting people with the same sort of views or confusion almost in what they're feeling, and it just becomes so much more relatable, I think.
I mean, yeah, it was almost started as it was people angry against the sheep culture, wasn't it?
Mhm.
So
That's the first bit.
Yeah,
It's like taking a stand against
there is
mainstream. In the beginning, it's like you're perhaps angry at the status quo or the way things are, but then you've got a whole other side to it of just your own personal issues in your own life as well, not just the wider society that you're pissed off at.
I think this genre as well, a genre that has the freedom to address mental health issues more than other genres. Unlike like pop music, it's just about, I don't know, banging chicks and sucking dicks, basically. There's a lot of freedom to talk about mental health, which they do a lot in pretty much.
You don't really
it's
see
a very
like
open
pop
and
music
honest.
being played on Radio 1 that's addressing like personal issues or anything ranging from mental health to like say substance abuse.
There's a few people that are trying, but it's not very successful.
No, because it doesn't appeal to the mainstream.
They don't want to listen to it, do they? Like Rob said, they just want to know about banging and drinking.
Literally, that is it. Like some of the songs on Radio 1 at the minute are dog shit.
Wop, wop, wop.
There's more substance in a Mormon commune.
It's always been a very, I don't want to say dark genre, because there is a lot of anger in there, but I think that is a way of just expressing.
There's a stereotype that comes with.
There's also a lot of beauty in it.
Yeah, there is.
Oh yeah,
like for me, Bring the Horizons Drown is one of literally the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, and it sums up how I feel when I'm bad perfectly.
Yeah, some of the best music and art in general have come from someone in trouble or in pain or something like that.
Literally all the best artists.
True.
I mean,
whether it's music or dramatic art or just art, all the best stuff.
There's actually a link between intelligence and mental illness. And the higher your intelligence, the more prone you are to mental illness. That's where the term ignorance is bliss comes from. It's actually a fact.
The more you know. Yeah.
We're gonna go over a bit more on mental health.
I know Jesse from Killswitch. He's a big advocate for being like for people to disclose and feel open to talk about their issues and stuff, especially in the in the wake of what's happened lately with Cornell and Bennington. I know he's been quite vocal lately, Jesse, about not being afraid to come forward. Like, it's always been this taboo subject.
Yeah.
I think maybe just in amongst the general population. But yeah, he's trying to encourage people to just talk about it.
Yeah.
If you're feeling
which is a very small first step.
That is the hardest step.
The smallest and the most hardest. I can probably say all of us here have come in contact, or either indirectly or directly in contact with some sort of mental illness, or have to go through something to get a little bit of help. And talking about it as a first step is the hardest step to do.
It makes you ashamed of everything.
Mental health has no remorse for anyone at all. Like you could say, Chester Bennington had everything: money, good career,
beautiful wife, 6 kids,
family. Still, mental health, we'll take it.
But it's like I said earlier, it's not a logical beast. It doesn't count.
No.
It's not like this whole image of it. It means you're sad and just cheer up is absolute bullshit, and it makes me fucking angry because it's not. There doesn't need to be a reason why you've got depression. It's a fucking chemical imbalance in your brain. It's not like, oh, I had a shit week, I'm depressed. No, you're not. Can you get out of bed every day? Can you have a shower? Can you function normally? No, you're a bit sad. You're not depressed. When you're depressed, you mostly don't feel anything. You just feel hollow. It's next level. people don't understand just quite how bad it is.
Mm.
And then if you do confide in somebody and you get somebody turn around and say, "Oh, you just need to cheer up," it's like it's not even what it's about.
Yeah.
Just knocks you on your ass.
Yeah.
Because it's-
I do feel it's important we have to talk about it now because the mental health services today, in our culture today, are
Diminishing.
Yeah, lots of promises from the government, but I can't see that being any help. The people that are out there helping people right now are really good. You just
Overworked and underfunded.
you just trying to break into that is hard.
I think because of this, I think it's so important now more than ever for people to speak out about mental health and get rid of the stigma that's attached to it. I mean, I think you shared a link earlier, Fisher, about Clown from Slipknot. He posted a statement about how people shouldn't be ashamed to talk about their mental health, and he was talking about it being a chemical imbalance and how it does just make you ashamed, but at the end of the day you can't control it, and you shouldn't feel scared, whether it be like within our culture or any culture or anything. You shouldn't have to feel ashamed to ask for help, to be able to speak to somebody.
The problem is, and I don't know how you're ever going to solve it, is no matter how socially acceptable it is, it self-shames you.
Mm.
You
Right.
feel like you're a burden. You don't want... It self-shames you, and that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we've seen this with Chris Cornell and Chester like lately. But yeah, it's hard, and I think the whole issue with it in our music is almost a release.
Definitely. It's a catharsis.
this is the thing, because some people will say, well, is the aggressive, heavy nature of heavy metal, does it have a negative impact on the mind itself?
Yeah.
And are you feeding into a destructive loop almost by feeling shit and then listening to heavy metal? Like, is it a vicious cycle? I don't agree.
I don't
that it
agree.
is.
I feel it's more of a venting thing.
That's
I agree
been
with what
put
you
out
said,
there.
it is cathartic.
Like,
Yeah.
for me,
How is that different?
I've felt the best I've ever felt
to-
sometimes when I've got the best heavy metal music blasted out. Like, it makes me feel on top of the world. That's the effect that it can have on me. So for people to say that, psychologically heavy metal can be damaging or whatever, or disruptive or distorting for the mind somehow on some level, I think it's bullshit.
So
Personally.
if you're feeling aggressive, they advise you to take boxing classes.
Right.
How is that any different to listening to something that's really aggressive, that's going to bang it out your system that way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fair.
So they'll tell you to go do boxing. They'll tell someone who's feeling shit to go to boxing classes, to go to a social gathering in a gym.
Do exercise, don't drink caffeine. Yeah, watch everything you love. The last few things you enjoy is alcohol and caffeine, and they tell you to stop it. Go out and do some exercise when you can't even fucking shower.
Some fresh air, you fucks.
Jesus Christ! I mean, you've got the other end of that spectrum, though. I mean, you look at songs like "Burning Red," for example. That is a song about suicide, and it was written while he was struggling with himself
Mm-hmm.
and his mental health.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of songs around that period where Rob Flynn was really down.
It's not even like just like heavy metal. It's like the whole alternative community.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it stretches even to like back in the day from Under the Cork Tree sort of era, Fall Out Boy.
yeah, bloody hell.
7 Minutes in Heaven is about when Pete Wentz tried to kill himself
Wow. Yeah.
and took an overdose.
I think you could
So if you've got
just sit here all night and pick out examples of,
yeah,
you know,
easily.
the list would be endless.
Oh God.
But I think another point Anders from In Flames raised, I think it was on the Come Clarity tour, was the the general nature of touring as well.
Yeah.
Like when you're away from your loved ones for months at a time, and in a band that's sort of beholden and I don't want to say slave to a label, but you're tied to that contract. You have to play 100 plus shows a year. He said the long-term effects of that also do not help. One, because you're away from your loved ones, and two, where if you are of a person of a depressive nature or you've got those issues, you've got any substance you want to you available at any time. Like, you're a fucking rock star. You're invested in that lifestyle where you can go backstage and have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, pick me up. Before you know it, full-blown addictions can happen on the road. Then takes its toll. You look at Paul Gray, that kind of thing, you know, locked away in hotel rooms, and then it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
It just gets worse and worse and worse, and then eventually the catastrophe happens. And you know, it's important that it's talked about. It's like, you know, it is life and death. That's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Like it's literally life and death for some people. So yeah, I think the taboo needs busting apart.
Do you think it helps that you've got celebrities speaking out about it and saying that you don't need to be ashamed to come forward? Do you think
There's a difference about speaking about it and doing something about it?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Right.
Alright, yeah, you might be... Oh, the last one I saw was Lady Gaga and Prince.
Yes. Lady Gaga.
Prince someone. Charles, Harry, I don't know.
Who's one?
Talking about it. Yes, you might be talking about it. What are you doing about it?
This is what I.
They're bringing it to the mass.
But this is what I put on Facebook earlier, and I think I tweeted it to all you guys, where it's basically somebody commented on it, and people with real mental health issues need more help than when a celebrity dies, people tweeting out the suicide suicide hotline.
yeah.
It's not good enough.
Right.
Quite
It's
frankly.
all.
Why should it only be mainstream and only be in the media when a celebrity dies?
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
It's just
Yeah.
It's
One in
almost
four.
like a token gesture. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is. I'm sure like people that are doing it are genuinely saying, look, there is help
but
out
then
there.
how many of them do it? So they don't seem like cunts. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
Just to be on the bandwagon, to be
well, that's it. You don't know, do you? I mean, I'm not saying it is necessarily a token gesture, but you know, why only do it when
exactly.
I think
Stress and mental health are the number one killers in every country, pretty much.
I think like within our genre of music, I think it is. Let's be honest, it's still relatively small for what it is. Like a lot of the musicians will have crossed paths at some point. They will know each other, and for some of these people, like to us, it's like, say when Chris Cornell died. For us, it's like, okay, Chris Cornell has died. We only know him as this
Definitely.
being. But
Mm.
then for other musicians that have come into contact with me, you know, it'd be like us losing a friend to it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I do understand what you mean by on a celebrity's death, then it is raised, like the exposure of that, because the hype behind that is massive. Like we saw that in the charts of Linkin Park.
Mm-hmm.
Linkin Park had 3 songs in the top 40 after his death.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Really?
And so on the wake of a death, there's gonna be-
Spike.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do agree with you in a way. Like it should. Well, you didn't say.
It should be talked about anyway. It shouldn't have
Yeah.
to
It
take.
should be prevalent in society without somebody
Yeah.
having to top themselves.
That
to-
is what I'm trying to say.
I think for me, personally, seeing a celebrity talk about it, it means more if it's something that they themselves have struggled with, because it doesn't come across as
Robin
just
Williams was another one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was another big highlight. But
like we said, like Clown for Slipknot, he's had his issues, and I think it does mean more coming from someone that's struggling themselves than from someone who, like you said, he is just tweeting out the suicide help hotline.
is there enough being done? And that's
No.
Never. I don't think there ever will be.
What the Clown solution? I say solution. It's not a solution, but the only way to move forward with it is, and this is the Clown's words, was just empathy and compassion and understanding. Just
be nice to people because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, everyone's got their own battles going on. You don't know what impact your negativity might have on them on one day to the next.
Yeah.
To you just be a cunt to someone and think nothing of it. They're going to go home and
You don't know.
well,
yeah,
you don't know.
like we were saying before with Chester Bennington and the new Linkin Park album, like negativity towards him and that album.
It could have been a
could have
contributing
been the-
factor.
There's a difference between constructive criticism and being a cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Basically.
be constructively critical, but don't be jerks to people. There's no need for death threats over an album to somebody you don't
That's
even
what
know.
I was saying earlier. Like, it's when it comes to life and death, like it's just music at the end of the day. Like, yeah, we're passionate about it. People get heated about it. People do invest a lot of their time in music, of course, but it is just music. When somebody's taking their own life, I just think it puts it all into perspective. And you're like, well, should I have spent the last 2 months berating Chester Bennington personally now that he's dead? Like, probably not.
Although, like I said earlier, although it's just music to us, it might not necessarily be to that person.
No, I just mean, like...
No, I get what
when
you're saying.
someone...
I'm just saying from different perspective. Like we
okay.
berate it because it's to us it's just music,
Right.
but to them they've put everything they are into an album
Oh,
And then have it
to
ripped
then
out.
be ripped a new arse
Oh,
out.
I see. Yeah. Yeah.
And people saying they want you to die because they
I mean,
don't like
that
the
is
direction of your album.
extreme. That is very extreme.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we've had a laugh at Linkin Park on this podcast, like, but never personally attacked. Like, there is a
No.
difference. There's a huge
No,
difference.
we know the difference between personally attacking someone and and attacking their music.
yeah, I mean, I
As
make
music in
no
general.
apologies for my opinions
No,
on
it's
that
a shit
album.
album.
It's fucking dire.
It was a shit album, and it again,
Yeah.
it deserved
But
every.
what we're
ounce
not
of-
going to do
Is
is
tell
go
him
on the
to
internet
die.
and send him death threats. That's
No.
what we're not going to do.
No,
We're just not going to listen to it again.
exactly.
That's the biggest
Um,
statement.
yeah.
That's the biggest statement that you could.
I mean,
Yeah.
going back to what we were
Wow.
saying earlier, like having these kids that were, that are growing up listening to this music for, as an outlet, who are then writing music themselves. Using Linkin Park as an example, you've got albums like Hybrid Theory, you've got albums like Meteora, which not only are they standout albums that everybody's gonna know at least something off of it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna mean something different to so many people. But they were there as a way for people to relate to it as well. I mean, you've had so many people speak out since Chester's death, saying that it helped them through so many hard times, and it is mostly when people are going through like this teen angsty phase, but it is therapeutic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what music is for a lot of people.
And in that teen angsty time, that is probably the most important time to realise what your brain is doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the the music, I'll go back to Linkin Park again. The music would probably have helped, like you said, a lot of people in a lot of different situations. I mean, there's so many bands. Well, pretty much nearly every single band.
You find a metal band that hasn't got a song about mental health.
Yeah. Bring the Horizons Drown, like you said before. Anything by Seether, 9 Inch Nails, Hurt and Closer. Pretty much anything by Slipknot early days.
Yeah.
Mudvayne, Dead Inside, stuff like that.
-1, Mudvayne. That's a classic.
Yeah, actually, it's
Like
good.
that is just a name, a tiny pinch.
It's a good point. We could sit here and list some more. I mean, have you got any that really stick out?
Right, so
Okay.
Bother.
Burning Red.
Yeah.
Bother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Stone Sour.
There was on Hell Alive, on Machine Head's Hell Alive, there was a whole speech where he says, "Oh, I had a knot in my stomach, my fist clenched, my temper's burning." This song is called, but fuck, I can't remember what it was.
It wasn't They Said When It Was Great, was it?
No, because Hell Alive was before
Oh, yeah.
Through the Ashes of Empire.
Yeah, I do.
Was it Struck a Nerve, Down to None? Stuff. It was
Yeah,
one of those.
I remember
But-
the speech on it. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd been subject to like a lot of abuse, and it was only a coming of age that he sort of realised what kind of abuse he'd been subjected to, and when that penny had dropped, I think it was a lot of hurt and shame that he didn't know how to deal with, other than sit there and angrily write fucking lyrics.
Yeah,
and
there's a
if that helped him not commit suicide,
yeah.
that's fucking amazing.
So
the music.
I mean, he was
could
probably
have stopped
writing
that.
stuff before he realised like what was going on,
Yeah.
and then after he realised. Both again, like we said before, the best art comes out of
Tortured songs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Name, name one of the greatest artists that isn't tortured. I mean, we've missed one of the most obvious suicides in alternative culture, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
a lot of his songs, like standout one for me, Lithium,
Mm-hmm.
which about bipolar, it's even named after the drug you take while you have bipolar.
I did not know that.
I'm getting a lesson tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the standout one I think that people immediately think of when you're talking about musician suicides. Really, it's
Well, he's so young as well.
27.
So young.
Yeah. My age. That's fucking crazy.
And so knowledgeable.
Yeah, he could have been one of the true rock stars of like the 21st century. Like, it would be interesting to hear what Kurt Cobain would have ended up coming out with, as his career would have gone on with Nirvana. Like, I just can't ever imagine that band selling out. I think
No,
they,
that was everything he stood against.
Yeah.
So,
no, because you know how some
to the point he
artists-
didn't want his music to become a corporate machine thing.
Yeah.
And
You know how some say that when they're like 27 and they hit their 50s and they become part of what they were rebelling against.
Yeah.
I just can't ever see Kurt Cobain compromising to any of that. So it would have been really interesting to see what path Nirvana would have taken. You know, it would have been Beatles massive eventually. Possibly. I think they had the potential. But yeah, something got the better of them.
fucking hell. It's just,
there's a bit of a conundrum for you. Apparently, more women are diagnosed with mental health issues than men, yet the suicide rate is twice as high.
in man,
in
yeah.
men. Do you know why?
No.
When was the last time you went to the doctors?
10 years ago.
When was the last time you went to the doctors?
A while.
When was the last
10
time?
at
Men
least.
don't seek help. They're less likely to seek help than females.
Stubborn people, aren't we?
Fact. There's a lot of studies on it.
Yeah.
Men don't seek help
Right.
because you're not a man.
Yeah.
Fucking
We'll
hell.
have to just get on with it.
Yeah.
Just get on with it, mate.
The phrase "man up."
Man up, you fucking pussy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit.
shit.
So that's what it is. There's equal amounts, and we just don't seek help. So that's why the suicide rate is high as well.
It's a fairly harrowing topic.
Definitely.
I mean,
Yeah, there's no light side to mental health.
no. I mean, it's a struggle. It is a constant struggle for people suffering with their own issues. It's a struggle for the people that are close to them. I mean, it's harder when, like we've already said, you don't necessarily have access to the support or the funding for the support. I think, for some people, like, music is a release in some small way.
Yeah.
Like, and
Definitely
Definitely a good outlet.
Yeah, and I think our culture is very inclined with that, with realising that and dealing with issues of that. Like, we're listening to Drown right now, and if you just listen through the lyrics of that, it basically describes what depression is. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't heard this song, listen to it, and if you haven't suffered with depression or you want to know something about somebody who's going through it, then listen to this song.
If you haven't suffered with it, lucky you.
Yeah.
it's a very deep, very emotional song.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'll wrap this up then with a service announcement, I guess. If you are dealing with any sort of depression like that, get yourself to a wellbeing centre. Is it?
There's wellbeing
countrywide?
centres, there's the Samaritans.
Yeah, the wellbeing centre. Right, the wellbeing centre it's a horrible place to be. It is shit. I've been there before, and it is shit. And you're not going to want to go there, but keep with it, and it'll work out.
Help is out there.
Go to your GP.
GP. Well, the GP.
They're more equipped nowadays to deal with it. Yes, it's a fucking horrible experience, and they're jerks, but it is a window you have to go through.
Yeah.
But they are generally more educated. If you go to your GP's office, they usually have a mental health specialist within the surgery. If you don't feel confident speaking to your GP, ask for whoever the mental health specialist is within that surgery.
If you get yourself in a wellbeing centre, you don't expect quick results. You're looking at 6 months before you see any sort of counselling. But it's there, and once you're there, it starts to get better.
It's not the fault of the service either.
No.
It's just they've got no funding, so they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Blame Teresa.
Help is there.
There you go.
Okay.
Now, as a lot of people are saying, you are not alone.
There is no
You're not
easy
alone.
step.
You've got-
Unfortunately, there is.
You've got the breakdown culture.
You got the breakdown culture here.
We're here.
We're about to have
with
a
you.
breakdown by the sound of it.
Yeah, we're going to get on to something lighter, and I need another beer. Someone beer me.
Yeah, how much beer is left? Can I have a bear?
God, have we gone through this whole fucking place? That's the last one.
Oh,
This would never happen if Danny was here.
You fucking animals. Savages.
Okay, hello again. Don't worry, you're not listening to a new podcast. A few things happened. We recorded a whole podcast. I went to edit it, and then it all disappeared.
You'd recorded half.
I only recorded half of it. But yeah, we had a good discussion on mental health and awareness and its presence in metal and stuff like that. So we are going to go and do the game next podcast. The game is rap metal. It's a shame we didn't get that recorded because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, had some good rap metal rounds. Yeah, and we got Fisher's All Killer as well to go on the end of that. So we're going to do that next week.
Which he said he'd love to talk about for
Yeah,
another 40 minutes.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll talk about that again. I can't wait to listen to that one actually. Yeah, we're going to have some new listeners as well. Volume's got a new album out.
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger's new album, yeah, and Rex Brown's new album. So looking forward to all them. Yeah, sorry on that, and we'll see you next podcast. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.